All right. Hello. Greetings. Happy Wednesday. Hi, everybody. Thank you all so much for being here. Welcome to MSF Workshop number 2. Today, we discuss all things Reels. And Sierra and I have an amazing presentation in store for you guys today. If you're newer here, Mona is the leading platform for 3D digital environments built for creators by creators, and our mission is to empower people around the world to collect, create, and share high quality, immersive experiences on the blockchain, which is a driving factor in this festival. Um, and that's what we're doing right in this moment is creating high quality immersive experiences together. So welcome. If your tag begins with guest, I see there are some of us in here that are guests and that are also, as we like to say, naked or in your birthday suit. So if you do want to create an account and customize your avatar, you can do that at the top right corner of the page. Once your account is set, you can customize your avatar by clicking the shirt icon or pressing number 4, and it'll give you an option to choose a custom VRM or a Ready Player Me. I suggest doing a Ready Player Me avatar if you don't create custom VRMs yourself. And altogether, this should take about 5 minutes. I'll also share this information in the chat while Sierra chats or tells us about what is in store for today.
Hi, I'm Sierra. It's so nice to see everybody in World today. I just wanted to talk about Mona Shorts Fest and what we're doing. So, Mona Shorts Fest is the first ever Monaverse short film festival. It is running now through August 17th. The goal is to create 2 to 5 minute videos, short films. Oh, sorry, is this better? um, and let me know if I'm too. I can find another solution audio wise if this isn't working. But okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I don't think it's you, Sierra.
um,
I think maybe if the audio's a little low, you can press letter H and there will be some toggle options to turn up the volume in space.
oh, awesome. Yeah, so there are $3,000 prizes for 4 different categories for MSF. It is in comedy, anime, experimental, and sci-fi, and then one extra prize for a new world build. Yeah, so it's a super exciting opportunity. $3,000 for only 2 to 5 minutes, and I'm so excited to see everybody's creations. It's going to be awesome. All of the information in terms of like official rules can be found on our website, which I'm going to put it in the chat as well. But it is monaverse.com/event/shortsfest. Let's do that right now. Shorts Fest. And yeah, so the workshop series is in tandem with the Shorts Fest, the duration of the 6 weeks. So each week we're doing a workshop attached to a mini challenge. This week's mini challenge is about reels. So we're constituting a reel as anything that's like short form vertical video. So think like a TikTok, an Instagram reel, like anything like that, we're counting. Um, yeah, the goal for this mini challenge is to create a 15-second reel in world. It can be related to your short film fest submission, or it doesn't have to be. And your eligibility for submitting to the Shorts Fest is not tied to your submission to the mini challenge. So you can do one and not the other, or vice versa. Like it's totally up to you. We encourage you, obviously, to do both because we want to see all of your amazing creations. But yeah, so I think I covered everything. We want to get did I? Oh, yes. Next week's is the monologue challenge and workshop. So it'll be a 1 minute monologue in Worlds. And as well, the submission forms for all of the mini challenges are available on the Luma. They're like in the description, but let us know if you need to find that form anywhere else. I believe there's a few other locations for it as well. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's my turn now. So next, let's see. Yep, next is this specific challenge. We're gonna get into that a little bit more. So let me get the right slide up. Okay. All right. So, as Sierra was sharing, this week's challenge is assembling a riveting 15-second reel of your film that captures the essence of a Mona space. And the submission period actually began on Monday of this week, and it'll be going until the 23rd. So be sure to get those submissions in. We hope that today we'll be able to share a bunch of tips and tricks that help you guys in that process. So it's cool to come in here and see you guys not watching the presentation in a traditional way. Just love the metaverse. Okay. But continuing on. So, yep, ends on the 23rd. Submission, you can submit via Luma, and 13 prizes will be awarded for this challenge to earn prizes of up to $300. So, definitely room for a bunch of submissions there. And moving on to the following slides. Workshop 2, tips for a great reel. So the first question that you might ask, why are short reels important and impactful? And the top four reasons to us are delivery, increased reach and engagement, storytelling, trends, and cultural impact. And we'll share a little bit more detail about that. Let me see here. Okay. So, in terms of delivery, short reels are digestible forms of content and they're accessible. If you have a phone or a computer, this type of content you can easily access at your own time. And the short form of it all makes it very attention capturing in a fast paced digital landscape where everything just moves, is constantly in motion. So, you want to think about how you can really capture your audience's attention. Increased reach and engagement is something that uh, Reels allows you to achieve because social media platforms prioritize short form videos in feeds. So with a higher output of Reels or short form videos, you can reach higher visibility and more effective marketing reach. Also, storytelling. Short reels allows creators to exhibit creative vision and storytelling abilities, especially in this short form way. It challenges you to get really creative. How can I effectively tell a concise story in 15 seconds, 30 seconds, under a minute? And the last note, trends and cultural impact. Times are constantly changing, and reels are one of the best ways to keep up with them. Reels are currently in, and they're one of the biggest trends that we're seeing currently in tandem with social media.
Awesome. Thanks, Ty. I just wanted to add in there that I do all of the socials for Mona, and a lot of what I think about when making reels is that first like 3 seconds. In movies, it tends to be like the first 10 minutes of like, what is that hook? How do you get people to stay? So making sure that you only have 15 seconds to tell a story. Like, how are you going to fill it? That's something that's really impactful when it comes to reels in particular. Awesome.
Truth. And I guess I should play this video really quick.
Oh yeah, this is our 2-year reel that we made that was that Sam made. He's here. That shows off all of the like things we've done over the past 2 years. Yeah. Is it playing? I'm not sure. I don't see it.
Not yet. One sec.
Okay. Cool.
Yay. Yay. Sorry, there's a little feedback loop, but you can go now, Sierra.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think this is the perfect time. I think we have some time for questions now. Just like initial thoughts, if anyone has like questions about reels in general, before we move into like some tips and tricks that um, we like to think about when creating reels. It's also okay if not.
I had a question or comment.
Yeah.
So for the Reels challenge, are we going to be making a reel and then posting it? But I was thinking, what about the whole thing, like not showing anything of the film that we're making until the judges see it?
Totally. Yeah. So these are submitted, I believe, via unlisted YouTube link. So you won't be actually sharing this online. Our little talk about engagement and stuff was just about how reels are relevant to today, and yeah, why they're important as a short form media.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. Thank you.
I have. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Do the reels have to be about the short film, or they can be just reels for engagement in social media?
It can be any reel in Mona, and that just has to tell a story. It doesn't have to be the story of your short film. It's just a reel made in Mona.
Okay, so it has to have a story, like, okay.
Yeah,
It
I
cannot be
think
like any funny thing, just for TikTok or whatever, right? It has
I
to tell a
um,
story.
I think it's great to leave. I don't want to like stray too close so that we can see some like very creative submissions, but I think the more storytelling you include, the better off you are in terms of winning a prize.
Mm,
Why would you agree?
okay.
Or Christian, you can add in there.
Yeah, Christian, if you want to add, go ahead.
Just can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, just to clarify some things. The reels, they don't have to be related to your Mona shorts. They can be anything that you want inside a Mona space. And you can think of these challenges as little steps for your either Mona shorts or just an extra challenge for you to win different prizes each week.
So it can just be a funny reel, right?
Correct. It
Well,
can
a
be a
funny
funny
reel,
reel.
yeah, a funny reel tells a story either way, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes. Okay. So it seems like Feli will be bringing the comedy in. Love it. Love it. Thank you for your questions. Are there any more? Okay. Sierra, did you want to touch on this slide before we keep going?
Um, I think we kind of covered that one. The one that's up. Yeah, we can keep going.
Okay.
Oh wait, are you on production? I think there's a little bit of a lag.
No, no. I'm on what does a successful short reel look like?
Okay, yeah, we're good. We can keep going into the challenge details.
Okay. Cool. So, challenge details. Um, Here's the challenge, the task, and the directions. Assemble a riveting 15-second reel filmed in a Mona space. This reel can either reflect your ideas for your MSF submission or not, which is kind of what we were just discussing. And the directions or our directions of how we would approach this is breaking it up into pre-production, production, and post-production, which is basically preparing your details, then utilizing effective techniques to shoot, and then utilizing editing software to finalize your reel. So, starting off with the pre production process, um, there are four main points to me in this: creating a central focus, which could be a message, a character, a conflict, any central theme that you want to tell a story about. Choosing your Mona world, you can select any world that is currently available on the Mona marketplace, or not even available. It can be sold. but any world on Mona's Marketplace that resonates with your message. All that we ask is that you credit the builder and the world upon completion, but all worlds are free to use. Choosing a sound score, this can be an MP3 of anything from sound effects to music. It can be original or pre recorded. And of course, you would have to also, not pre recorded, but recorded and an official song by a celebrity. You just have to credit them. Of course, that's like basic filmmaking rules. And then a voiceover, which is a really effective way to utilize sound. And then last is the shot list, which can be you can use like a shot list, a storyboard, or a script, any type of pre production form that can help you plan out your shoot.
Awesome.
I have one more,
Oh, yeah.
sorry.
Oh, yeah.
And then this last one for me with the pre production is just an example and a resource that you guys, if you participated in the first workshop, all have access to, which is referring to your log line. So from the log line you submitted to challenge one, what central message comes through? And how could that central point from the log line be worked into this 15-second reel? Just as like an easy, streamlined way to get you guys submitting to this challenge that is like not too stressful. But yeah, if you didn't submit to the last challenge, you can also create a log line on your own and have that help you navigate your reel.
Cool. So I put together a sample shot list Excel sheet that you're welcome to use. We will share it at the end here, or you don't have to use a shot list at all. It's totally up to you. But I have a background in dancing, and every shoot that I've been on has always had a shot list. I've also done a lot of filmmaking myself, and it's always really helpful to just know what you're going to capture. Sometimes it's fun to just go in and see what you get and then edit from there, but it's also really helpful to plan things out. So what I included here was the number, the name, location, angle, type, and notes, and then just like a check off when you've done it, so you know. Feel free to totally customize this. It's just a helpful tool that can direct your and make it more efficient your filming process. So yeah. I think this next slide Paradox was gonna jump into a little bit, right?
Yes. Paradox.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome, let's have a look. Okay, cool. So what slide are we on? Are we on number 15? Is this my slide?
You
Yeah.
bet.
Excellent, cool. There might be a little bit of echo, but here we go. So let's have a look. So I'm just having a look at my slide. Okay, cool. So the first thing we want to be looking at is the sort of technical considerations, and that's all kind of like framing your shot, right? So the first thing I always consider when I'm shooting in the Monaverse is what aspect ratio the output video is going to be. And what I mean by that is like the shape of the video. Most of you know landscape and portrait. That's kind of a simple way of looking at it. And Instagram Reels are portrait, right? And so a vertical video shape. And because Instagram Reels are mostly viewed on the phone, uh, the reason this is an important consideration is because if you shoot the scene landscape with the avatars on each end of the screen, when you come to edit for a portrait aspect ratio, you'll suddenly find that the avatars don't both fit on the screen because you're only seeing a segment of the landscape video. So with this in mind, I tend to plan my avatar placement to be around the center of the screen. That's kind of a happy rule of thumb I tend to do. So also remember that on the Instagram app there are buttons and a UI at the top and the bottom of the screen. So try not to frame anything like important right at the top or the bottom, otherwise it will get cut off. So let's have a look. So that's kind of framing bits and pieces. So the next on the list to consider is lighting in your scene. There's some really creative spaces in Mona with amazing lighting. So take some time to explore these spaces and make use of those moody cinematic scenes with amazing lighting, because lighting can really elevate your production levels and kind of impress your audience. I mean, there's whole departments in film dedicated to lighting. So yeah. let's have a look. So moving on to kind of some effective techniques. So, right, the biggest tip I have here is if you can, go out and buy yourself a gamepad. And what I mean by that is like an Xbox controller or a PlayStation controller, because using a trackpad on your laptop or a mouse and keyboard is fine to explore Mona. But if you want those sexy, slow filming camera movements, you're going to need a controller. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be quite jaggedy and not nice to look at. So um, make sure you get one which you can connect to your computer. So they normally come with like a dongle or a Bluetooth connector. They don't cost a lot. You can probably buy like an old 360 controller and a wireless dongle for like $20, something like that. So it's not too pricey, but it's totally worth. I've it's one of my main tools in my arsenal for filming in the metaverse. So let's have a look on my list. Okay, so next on effective techniques is I recommend studying up on composition, symmetry, and alignment. These are all like filmmaking techniques that go into planning your camera shots and angles, especially things like rule of thirds, which can like really help your eye line. For example, you don't want to frame your shot with an avatar with their eyes right at the very top of the screen. Um, can you jump to the next slide? Is that okay? Because there's a couple of pictures which will
Yeah,
help.
I have an example on there.
Oh, brilliant. Is it
One
going?
sec.
Is there another slide? I can't see it showing up. Okay, still not showing for me. That's okay. Either way. Okay, so can everybody see the image? Is everyone in world see the image with like the dog on the top left of the screen? Can you see that?
Oh yeah, now we can see
Ah,
it.
there we
Yeah.
go. I can see it now. Brilliant. Okay, cool. So, um, look at the image with the is it a dog? It's a wolf, something like that. And the cameraman has placed the dog in like the lower third of the screen, and that's like a really comfortable viewing area for audiences to look at. And if there was a person close to the camera, you'd want their eyes somewhere around like the top third of the screen. So overall, yeah, totally I recommend studying up on composition. Things like symmetry, like some directors love symmetry in their shots, but the first thing I'd look at is basic composition and the rule of thirds, which is super important. Yeah, and then beyond that, it's deciding your camera shots. So you've got extreme wides, wide shots, medium shots, close shots, all of these. And this is the last thing I'll say. Have a look at the very bottom left image. You'll see a man in a sort of a blue vest. His eye line is around about the top third of the screen, which is what I was saying earlier with that rule of thirds. So, yeah, tried and tested rules will work in your favor and totally elevate your production levels. So, yeah, I think that's me.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so I was also going to touch on that. Sam did a fantastic job, though, so we can move right along. The CRAP thing that you see right there is actually, so CRAP is like a acronym for, it's usually used for like digital 2D design, but I really think that it's something that can be translated to video. And it stands for contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity, just for really strong ideas to think about. Contrast being like light to dark, colors, anything like that. Repetition, maybe there's a shot that comes back from like you do it in the beginning and then it ends the same way the whole reel does, and that creates some sort of story. Alignment, how coming back to that rule of thirds, how does it align on your screen? Proximity, are things close, are they far? That kind of stuff can really make a difference, especially when you're actually like thinking about them rather than just seeing what happens, which is also great. But using these tools can really elevate your creations. And then I've included 2 videos here. We don't have to watch. I want to touch on the bottom one first. We don't have to watch it, but I would suggest watching this scene in The Fabelmans, which is a Steven Spielberg movie. And essentially, this kid comes into this meeting with John Ford, who's the director, and he has him look at these 3 pictures on the wall, and he's like, tell me about these pictures, like describe them. And the kid's like, I don't know what you mean. And he's like, where's the sky? And the sky in one of them is at the bottom of the screen, in one or of the picture, in another one it's at the top, and another one it's at the middle. And he said, if the sky is at the bottom or the top of the frame, it's exciting. And if it's in the middle, it's boring. So I think that's a really interesting rule to think about, which is what I wanted to talk about in the Barbie teaser trailer that I've included here. Just like look at this video and think about where the sky is at all times. Ty, if you want to play that one, that would be awesome. It's only like a minute long.
Okay, we'll do. Feli, we'll take your question after we watch this video. Thanks for your patience.
Is there sound? If not, it's okay. Cool. Oh, it's not over. Thanks, Ty. Yeah, so like not in all of the shots, but I felt like there was some really interesting angles in that video in particular, and just thinking about the ways that we can create new and interesting angles in our filming. Yeah, do we want to talk more about the flying thing, or how that relates to maybe filming in Unity? Question mark. Sam. If not, it's okay.
That was a good trailer though. That made me want to see more.
Well, it comes out tomorrow, so if anyone's,
Let's go.
I already have my ticket. I'm so excited. Cool. Moving into some post-production stuff. So thinking about text overlays, like how can you use text to really keep telling the story? So for example, in our 2-year video, we used text to describe what was going on, and tell more of what was happening. Visual effects, we'll talk a little bit more about transitions on the next slide, but sound, I think, is something that's really powerful. So this video, you can just go to the second half of the video, Ty, but it's like, and if we could do sound, that would be great. You'll see what I mean. Like it can really change the video very quickly. So thinking about what sound you're choosing and why, in order to tell your story, whether that's a voiceover, whether that's just a soundtrack, whether it's a song with words, like what story are you telling and how can your sound help you get there?
Oh shoot, there was no sound for the last one. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay.
I got you this time.
It's just important for this one.
Got you. Here we go. You want to watch the whole thing, Sierra?
No. You can just cut to like the second half, maybe like 2/3 of the way through.
I'm sorry. What time did you say?
Like 2/3 of the way through. I don't have a specific time.
Okay.
I can't hear it. I don't think there's sound playing, Ty. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, now I don't see a video, but it's okay. You get the idea of like this one scene. We all know what this sound is like for Pirates of the Caribbean, but how can that like change based off of? You get the idea of like this one scene. We all know what this sound is like. I feel like I'm looping. For Pirates of the Caribbean, but how can that like change?
Try to talk now.
Okay, hi. I can still hear myself though. That was weird. Okay. We can just go to the next slide. Let's talk about cuts. It'll come up in a second. So cuts are how we like edit video and sound together. The first two kinds that I wanted to talk about are hard cuts and jump cuts. So hard cuts are when we go from one side of like, so if you have like two people talking, maybe the camera's only on one of them, and then it switches in the same conversation to the other side. Cuts are when we go from one side of like, so if you have like two people talking, maybe the camera's only on one of them, and then it switches in the same conversation to the other side. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. So I was saying hard cuts are when like two people are talking and it's only from like one side, and then maybe the camera cuts to the other side, but it's still the same conversation. So you see this done a lot in movies to be able to show the facial expressions of both of the people in the conversation. Jump cuts are when we jump from one scene directly to the next with no like fade or anything like that. Creating those transitions without like crossfades normally makes it a little bit more cinematic, although there is definitely time and place for those like exciting kinds of transitions like crossfades. So just thinking about the way that you're using them. L cuts are when I get these mixed up, L and J, but we're going to talk about both of them, so it doesn't matter. L cuts are when the sound continues, but the image that you're seeing on the screen changes. So keeping that same soundtrack all the way through can create kind of a blend between two scenes. And oppositely, J cuts are when the image changes, but the sound stays the same. So how can you blend two scenes together, creating those transitions? Transitions are everything. Ty knows this as a dancer as well, but transitions are the most important things ever. So how can we make those like seamless and create extra, like sometimes transitions can take away from your work, but how can you make them add to your work? So yeah, and there's some examples. We're going to provide a document with all these resources later, but here's there's a article about the different kinds of cuts in film that I've linked there. So yeah, we can go on to the next slide.
Let's go. Next slide. So video editing tools. We're giving you a bunch of tips and tricks on how to edit, but where are you going to edit? So if you're not familiar already, these are some great examples of tools and software that can support you in your editing process, in your post-production process. So we have Final Cut Pro and Premiere, which are both desktop softwares. Premiere Rush is on mobile, InShot is on mobile, and iMovie is on desktop and mobile as well. I know iMovie is free, and InShot has a free version with in-app purchases for access to greater editing or like effects and features. And then Sierra, if you want to talk a little bit more about Premiere Rush and Final Cut. Yeah.
So Final Cut and Premiere Pro are like the ultimate editing platforms for sure. Both desktop for Final Cut and Premiere Pro. Premiere Rush, I believe you can also do on desktop, but it's mostly a mobile platform. It's super, I love editing real, like short form content, anything that's like gonna go on socials on Premiere Rush. It's super easy to use and I believe free, but if you have an Adobe subscription, then you can like sign in and it'll like save all of your work, which is really great. So yeah.
Amazing.
I think the next slide, we're going to talk about some post-production examples and resources. I'll wait for the slide to change. Yeah, so I want to talk about epidemic sound. We use that in all of our videos. It's like there's a million of these where you can find like royalty free music, but I really like this one. I think that it has like really good stuff. So I would recommend using Epidemic Sound. And then I included 2 visual representations of cool like text things that I've seen. Obviously Star Wars, that's like the ultimate, but then this one in the bottom corner I saw in a movie the other day, and I was like, I have to include this. I just thought it was so creative, and all the transitions in this movie had stuff like that where the text was coming out of something, and it made a really clean way of like adding to the scene rather than taking away using text. So yeah, I wanted to note that that's definitely something that you can do in like After Effects if you're familiar with that. It's really not that hard to do. So yeah, we can go on to the next slide. Oh yeah, so now we are going to go into a section of critiquing. So if you're not familiar with like art critiques, it's a really fun way to, not necessarily fun, it's an informative way to look at art and not drive with emotion, but rather like what worked well. So straying away from the comments like I liked this because, or I didn't like this because, and using language like this worked well and this didn't work well, and talking about why. So what techniques did you see, like stuff like that is more productive than just saying that you liked or didn't like something. So we have a couple of examples here to talk about on the next few slides. So this first one, we're not actually going to watch this one, but I wanted to shout it out. This Instagram page made an entire movie in 15-second clips. And if you watch any of them, you can like totally jump into the story anywhere. Like those 15 seconds will tell you a story all on its own. And then when you put them together, it's this like even bigger story. So if you want to check out Shield 5 on Instagram, definitely check that out. I think it's a really great resource, especially for this challenge in particular. Super cool idea too. They won like all sorts of awards for this. So yeah. Ty, I'll let you take it away.
All right, cool. And these next few slides, I'll be sharing some examples that are like completely different from each other. So yeah, as Sierra said, feel free to critique. I won't say anything at first. I would love to hear what everybody has to say. So feel free to not necessarily even critique, but just share what you've picked up on. Like we talked about a bunch of great things. So if you see somebody doing like a jump shot or an L shot, or somebody utilizing really effective sound techniques, yeah, just talk about all of that so we can start applying our newfound skills. All right, here's the first video. Oh, okay. Let me mute myself 1 sec. Okay, what are some things you guys noticed about this video? What's like the central focus? What are some of the first things you noticed? You can also unmic and speak. Yeah.
I like how they did that the zoom cut, so that you go from like behind the scenes to in camera perspective.
Totally.
I think I have that transition somewhere on my hard drive.
I think the main point of this reel is the struggle to get the photography right. I mean, how difficult it is to get a photograph of something like this, right? I think that's the main thing I got out of the video. Do you hear me?
Yes, those were great
Yeah, yeah.
points. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Anything else from anyone?
But wait, what was the question? Like how we can critique the real?
Just like
Yeah.
thoughts, yeah. Like
Mhm.
sharing what you saw, like what techniques they were using, what you thought worked about it. So yeah, you got
Oh, RuPaul's my favorite. Ah,
We'll get into this one. But before we do, just want to, if there's any last questions, not questions, but thoughts to add to that first video.
oh, someone was asking if you could
Yeah,
paste the links in
I've
Discord.
got you. Yeah,
And
we'll send a document with all of the files included
oh, okay,
in
okay.
this presentation today.
And also, Ty, we don't hear the videos.
You don't?
no.
No, 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 we don't.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Thank you for letting me know. I got you. All right, here's the second one.
I hate, hate, hate your hair and makeup today. The wig and the makeup could have enhanced your face even more to match this beautiful gown that you have. One, you guys have any questions, first of all?
What is it that you hate so much about my face? Oh my God.
Your features and your face are beautiful. Let me make that clear. And I'm not a makeup artist, y'all. I just think that your makeup look kind of half done.
Ah. Any thoughts?
Roasted, roasted. 100% roasted.
There were some hard cuts in there. It was all the same
Yeah,
convo, but from
yeah.
different
I
angles.
think the movement of the camera and the cuts. 100% roasted. Uh,
There were some hard
when I'm
cuts
hearing
in there.
myself on the stream.
Yeah, Ty, I think your audio is like
I
looping
think
back.
the movement of the camera and the
All right,
cuts.
it should be fixed now.
Uh, when I'm hearing myself on the stream.
Yeah, Ty, I think your audio is like looping back. All right, cool. Any other thoughts about that one?
Yeah, sorry, Felly, that happened. You can continue talking.
Um, I think the most impressive thing about this reel is the movement and the shot of the other um players in RuPaul's Drag Race, right? Like the emotions that they show are the impact on the dialogue, right? They both are talking, but they also show everyone else, so you can see
Yeah,
the how they react. Yeah, and that's the most powerful thing, right? And also the something I have noticed in shorts is that subtitles are really important. Like not everyone watches a
yeah,
reel with audio, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of us just scroll down and we don't use audio. So I think having the words on the screen is something really important for a
Definitely.
catch for catching the the viewer's attention, right?
absolutely. That's a great point. Um, yeah, really good ideas there, Felly. And if there's any other ideas from anybody, feel free to share. Also, you guys can comment on like anything you think maybe could have been done better.
Can I say a little small thought of mine about it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I think it's all about like leaving a gap and filling the gap. You know, once it was like I'm talking about the filming in any stuff and in the reels and TikTok, whatever. It's more hyperactive, more quicker than any content we see since like I don't know 20 years in Netflix and stuff. But in this kind of fast contact contents, right? Like while the someone speaks, the other person's face we see, and while that other person talk, we see the first person again. It's like creating the gaps all the time to, create that narrative of like a locomotive of curiousness, the mystery. What's gonna happen next? That's the main thinking of that. And every time, I spare at least 1 hour of mine of a day to watch some reels and some some that kind of hyperactive content, and that's like how I observe that, how I enjoy that too.
I love that. Super awesome points there. Cool. Should we go to the next one, Ty?
Let's go. All right, next one should be popping up now. Yeah, amazing points. I think that who was that? Was that Decentralized talking?
Yes, that's not me. Yes.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate your insights, and also super cool to see you here. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, it's amazing. The first class I saw in the recording, amazing. So I couldn't stop myself to join here after I saw the Discord message. And amazing insights here. Thanks a lot to
Oh,
everyone. Yeah, thanks a lot.
of course. All right, so let's get into our last few videos here. Let me see. This second one is kind of like, I mean, I'll just do the first one, and then we don't have to go through the other two, but we'll share those in the document with you guys later. All right, here we go. Last one from me. All right, any thoughts on this one?
Wait, I didn't understand anything about that.
Did you see it though?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, this one is like a little bit abstract, sponsored by Dell. Maybe. Um, I guess I'll share my initial thoughts. I don't know. He was just kind of like scrolling aimlessly in the beginning, and then I think he realized like maybe I could just be creating in this moment instead of being consumed by social media. Um, that's what I thought. Yeah, I liked his
Okay.
use of like he was like close up. He was far, kind of relatively close to his phone, but then when it went to his face, it was like close up on his eyes.
Wait, I thought that he was like looking at shorts really quickly and then criticizing why they weren't great and writing that down to make one reel better than
Oh,
what he
maybe.
has seen.
Hmm.
Yeah. I thought
I like
something
that interpretation.
totally different.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I like that. I like when art is open to interpretation and you can get um different ideas from it. So it's good that we're both getting different vibes from that video. That means he did his job.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, we're gonna send the links to all of these, so you can totally watch them after this. There will be a document with everything that we've shared today. Cool. Well, I have one more, but we're kind of coming up on the hour. If we want to, we can just go through. I can tell you what it is. Then, if you guys want to watch it later, you can. Um, Okay, if you want to change the slide. Cool. So this was apparently this happens every year. I did not know this until recently, but there's a 15-second horror film challenge. So these are all filmed horizontally, not vertically, like we've been discussing. But I still think it's a really great like 15-second storytelling thing to look at. And these were the winners from 2019. They were really, really good. So definitely watch this when we send out the link later. Super cool. But I think we should use the next like 3 minutes to take any questions, comments, thoughts, anything anyone wants to share.
I was thinking about this challenge, and I was thinking in two ways. One is that maybe something that is made in 15 seconds is not really going to be a hit on social media, but it will be a hit for the judges. So maybe where I was thinking that it should be good for social media and to the judges, but maybe it's not, right? Because this 15-second horror film challenge was not made for TikTok, right? For this fast scrolling down thing.
Yeah, so
So
this
maybe we
challenge
yeah.
in particular though was like way before TikTok even was a thing. They've been doing this since like 2012. So yeah, I think if you for this challenge in particular, if you want to make it something that you can post after the judging period, I think that that's totally awesome. Generally, like 15 to 20 seconds is a really good pace for reels that want to gain a lot of traction. Anything longer than that, it has to have like something really hooking about it for people to keep going. People's attention span is very, very short, like shorter than you think it is. So unless you can hook someone in, they're not going to watch like a 30-second plus video on Reels or TikTok. But yeah, you can take this challenge however you want. We're super excited to see any creativity that comes out of this. So
Yeah, but my main question is, are we making this real for social media, or are we making this real for the filmmaking experience and for showing a film, a 15-second short film? The judges are judging by how many people are going to stay watching in TikTok, or are they um, judging by the quality of the film in 15 seconds? That's my question.
the judging will be based on the storytelling and quality of the film in 15 seconds. You don't have to post this. And I think I'm pretty sure, Christian, do you want to talk about like maybe the
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So yes, so you're on point with the reel. So the reel is only for the judges to kind of look at your creativity, how you kind of answer the challenge. In terms of social media, if your reel is about your Mona shorts, you can release this reel after the judging. So the purpose of these challenges is for you to have a set of promotions that you already have for your film, so that once the judging is done, you can use all that promotion on your own social media feed. Now, if you are creating reels outside of your Mona shorts, you can use it however you want. There's no rules against that.
No. But my question was, are you the judges of this
Yes.
challenge is going to be focused on how the people will perceive this 15-second short reel
No, Fanny. Judging
on
based
social
on
media, or just
no.
no?
Just the
Okay,
content
okay.
itself.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
I kind of have a follow-up question to that. If it's okay. And so is it okay if it's like 7 seconds long? Because I feel like, or like, what's the length requirements, so to speak? Because these days I feel like even 7 seconds is long for a reel.
Mm-hmm. I think 7 seconds would be fine. Christian, what do you think?
If you can do a 7-second clip that answers the challenge, go full blast ahead, because that will be amazing. If you need the full 15 seconds, do it.
Okay, and it's up to 15, but no longer.
Correct. Up to 15 seconds.
Okay, and then is there a layout of all the requirements? Or are you about to get to that?
We'll get to that. We'll have all the layouts kind of written out in the document that we're going to share a bit after
Oh,
this so
perfect.
that all the rules are there.
Okay, sweet. Thank you.
And last question for me. We can use whatever sound and BRM and spaces. We don't have to make our own, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Use any
Okay.
resource available to you.
Okay. Okay.
May we use AI as well?
Always.
Yes, as long as it's still filmed in world.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, and the flying question. Paradox told me that it's on the roadmap, so we cannot fly, right? We cannot shoot a wave flying. Is that correct? Okay.
Yes. The only workaround to that is if you're filming inside of Unity.
Right.
Which would be a space that you'd have to either build yourself or have the Unity files for. But I believe we're talking about filming in Unity and Cinemachine and all that good stuff next week, right, Sam? Maybe he's busy. Yeah, so stay tuned for some information about tips on making your in-world filming even higher quality. Yeah. Cool. Ty,
Okay. Thank you.
anything else?
Yeah, let's
Can
just
I ask a quick question? Sorry for if
go
we
for
have
it.
passed the
Yeah,
time.
go for it.
Thanks a
Our
lot.
last one.
Thank you. I understood everything. Read all the rules and stuff, but my question is about the trailer, right? So I didn't quite get what we have to do for a trailer. You know, of 5 minutes shorts, not for the 15 minute, 15 seconds stuff, but a more long term question of mine. So if I get any further information about the trailer for a short, that would be so great. Thank you.
So remind me. So let me just repeat the question, see if I got it correctly. So you're asking about the if we're gonna have or if there any information about the trailer for the Mono shorts that you're filming.
That's correct. Of course, that's the one I was asking. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so we're actually will be having a workshop towards the end about creating a like a advertisement for your short slash trailer. So that's something you can look forward to. In terms of trailer, that's entirely up to you on how you want to do that.
Amazing. Like, is there any like a limit of time, or I don't know, any like a layout for that, or anything, or it's just like a very free medium that we can explore in a short period of time, or like
I'll
how
get
you
back
say.
to you on that. Let me ask the entire team about what we kind of want for that format. But that's a great question for everyone here, and we will get back to you on that for your answer.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you guys. What a great crowd today. Thank you. So, to recap and land on some takeaways, here are our top 5 tips: tell an engaging story, target an audience, encourage engagement, consolidate your ideas, and hook your viewer in the first 2 seconds if you can. We'll be sharing this external resources link with everybody so that you have access to all of the information that was shared in the presentation today. And if you are watching this on your own time via YouTube, you can ask any questions at any time via Mona's Discord channel in the Mona Shorts Fest specific thread. So cool. As I shared earlier, next week, Paradox will be leading the workshop on monologues. So definitely come through for that. That'll be on 7/27. So next week, 7/27, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And monologues, paradox. What more could you ask for? Definitely come through for all of the tea. You don't want to miss that one. If you're free tomorrow, we'll be having our very first double take activation right here in the Monatorium, where we'll be interviewing Diego Mack, an incredible dancer and 3D animator, right here, utilizing Live Peer's live streaming technology. So shout out to Live Peer for making this possible. That'll be at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So come through for an inspiring interview. Then Friday we have our grants closing ceremony. I'm so excited for that. That's at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time in Mona's Discord. So if you're not in Mona's Discord yet, I will share an invite link here. And that's it for this week. So I hope to see some of you guys here in Mona tomorrow and on Friday.
One more announcement.
Nice.
If you participated in the logline challenge, the winners will be announced Friday as well.
Ooh. Very cool. Will they be announced during the community call or elsewhere?
I'm hoping to.
Okay, cool. All right, noted. Bet I'll add that into the agenda. All right, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming. We'll hope to see you guys tomorrow and Friday. And yeah,
Thank you. I hope you had fun.
Bye, y'all.
yay.